I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. All right, what's going on? We are the Defenders of Comics. We took last week off, but this week I think we'll make up for it. I am Coach, and right with me is Ace. You are very interested in the topic that we are going to bring up, and I'm going to let you sort of handle it to the majority of it, but it is it's basically what is going on why Western comics are getting their ass kicked, basically.
Not going to say that all current comics from the big two or Image or some of those other ones are bad, but by and large, Marvel and DC is probably the lowest in quality I've seen since, the implosion of the mid 90s where things got kind of dicey. So
Do you think it's worse right now than what it was in the mid 90s, or do you think it's comparable?
I think in some ways it's worse. Um, I think in a lot of ways it's worse, actually. At least we still had the characters. They weren't fundamentally changed or altered to the point of like, wow, who are these people in the 90s? It was just in the 90s you could see the talent level and the implosion and the paper quality just really took a dive. A lot of the art started to look similar and just generic, and everyone was aping McFarlane and Rob Liefeld, and there just wasn't a lot of money that around because DC and Marvel were in bad shape. The whole comics industry was so. But now you've got, in a lot of ways, the sales are worse than ever in most respects, and you have marginal talent and people with agendas. They
And
care more about their agenda than the characters.
and I think that's the majority of what is going wrong. And I'm not trying to be the negative Nelly because I'm actually sort of sick of those kind of people wanting to always be negative. But if we can be bluntly honest, the big difference is the agenda, like you're saying. We're going to push our political beliefs and we're going to push our moral beliefs, and you're going to like them. And in fact, we're going to push them so hard, we're going to take what we built as beliefs in certain characters and make them change completely, and you're just going to accept it.
Yeah, that it's incredibly frustrating, and as such, fans like ourselves, they're not attracting new fans. They're just not.
No, they're
And what
losing.
they're losing, and then they're losing all the old fans.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's a recipe for disaster. Um, we'll get more into some examples of manga, but if we can piggyback on what you just said. Let's take here's one of my favorite Bat characters. Probably my second favorite to Dick Grayson is Tim Drake.
Oh yeah, that pissed me off. Go for it.
And it's not been confirmed by DC as of yet, but it's heavily implied in one of the newest Batman. I think it the Legends or the anthology series that's out right now. They are really hinting that Tim Drake is bisexual. And for years he's been in a relationship with Stephanie Brown, the spoiler. Before they had it, before that he had a girlfriend. When I read the Robin series, which Dick Grayson is one of my favorite all-time characters, but if I have to pick my favorite Robin, it's by far Tim Drake. So um, I just love that character, and all those years he's had a girlfriend, and Stephanie Brown was his second main interest, and it's just like, hey, we're gonna throw out years and years and years of character development. We're basically gonna piss on it
Yeah.
because we have an agenda. New that we can get behind. This character's been straight for years, and now you're just telling us he's gay. And then characters like, or individuals like us are like, no, this.
Right.
This is not who he is. This is
Or
just not fundamentally who he is.
we like understand what it all is about, and they want to ignore that we have actual knowledge, and they ignore that we have grown up with this character, so we do know enough information that it's exactly what they did with Iceman, and
Yeah,
we are
another
just
great
either
example.
going to accept it or not. And I don't understand what they're doing, and I don't want to get to this point, but there are very good homosexual characters
Yeah,
in both DC and Marvel. To just do what they did very much what aggravates me, because if you would take one of those key homosexual or LGBTQ characters and now all of a sudden make them straight, it would be the worst thing ever,
it would.
that somebody did.
Yeah, they would. There'd be meltdown. There'd be hysteria over it,
Yeah.
and I'd actually be like, okay, yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Like DC has, um, oh, the other one escapes me right now, so I'll just use Obsidian,
Yeah.
a really cool character from Infinity Inc. He's Alan Scott's son. Um, and there wasn't a history of him being a player or being interested in the ladies, and so it felt pretty natural that he came out as gay kind of years and years later. But it's like, well, actually, okay, that works, and it was a really cool storyline with Alan Scott, who's an old 40s character, and he's had this long life, and he's traditional, and his son comes out as gay, and he just doesn't know how to handle it, but he still loves him, and they work through it. But no, DC says, nah, we're gonna ignore a gay character that's pretty darn cool, and we're gonna make Alan Scott, who's been around since the flippin' 40s, gay. Because that's what we're gonna do. He's gonna be in the new Green Lantern show, and he's gonna be the gay Green Lantern. Um, it's an ignorant. Everyone should be offended by it. It's like, this is ridiculous.
It's
You
just that
have the gay characters, use them.
that and they're not talented enough to make a new one.
No,
I mean, they don't even think about that. Let's make a brand new character and make him great and make him or her, gay
yeah,
or whatever. But no, we can't do that. We're just going to take existing popular ones and you're going to like them still because you already liked that character before.
yeah. They think that's gonna work, and it doesn't work.
So we got some people in here saying Sam says it's bad, just bad. Marvel and DC both are more worried about the next big crossover. Shane says the Punisher, and then Sam also says that SJW forcing the agenda never worked in comics.
No, it's ridiculous. Oh, I did have to give a shout out to the Punisher. That's for Shane. So you're welcome. We love the Punisher here.
I don't want to sit on this topic long because it can get really really negative, but the Tim Drake thing I am like gigantically concerned about because it just doesn't make sense of the character that has already been developed.
No,
Um
no sense whatsoever.
there was nothing tragic that happened or nothing that even was building up to the possibility of him being changing his sexuality. It's just we woke
No.
up and hey, what character can we grab because it's Pride Month, and we're gonna grab this one and make him
Yeah.
that way.
And again, it's like, we don't really know what to do with Tim Drake right now. Damian is, really solidified himself as Robin. The
Mm-hmm.
Dick is Nightwing. Jason's Red Hood. Well, he was called Red Robin, then we switched it to a dumbass name called Drake, a deadly duck or something. I don't know what it is.
Again, they're so good at creativity.
Uh, so okay, so you're right. We could get negative on that, and but going back to more of what the real subject is the lack of talent. Go ahead.
Before you do though, I I think this has something to do with the whole thing. I got an email today, and I do the cosmology, and just was informed that they're getting rid of all the DC comic books that are in it.
Say again.
Yeah. So I mean that
Comixology?
yeah, it it said that you could read the current ones that you have already purchased or whatever, but they are going away from it.
Oh gosh. Well, there you go. I mean, I don't know. The thing about it is, as we know, DC had a what they call it, just they slashed everyone's positions. Like over 100 years of experience at DC was shown the door, and low level interns, low level editors are now kind of running things.
Mm.
And they have some other individuals from other fields that came in to be like the editor in chiefs. I can't name the names, but so DC just is like, wow, the talent level there is bad. And the rumor is that Disney is going to, clean house on Marvel as well. Marvel just seems even, I don't even know what to say about their output. So the reason we're talking about this is manga, which I've never been a major fan of, but it has gained so much traction. So I don't know if we have the sales chart up, but
Oh,
like in I'll just
you
mention
go.
this in 2019, I pulled up the top 20 trades that are selling, right? And half of them were Marvel or DC, and I think an Image book. So, and then the other half was manga. You had your Naruto and I don't know, some other titles. So, in just 2 years, the top 20 sales are complete manga. 100%. Not a DC, not a Marvel,
Is that on the
not an Image comic.
ICV2.com?
Yeah.
All right, I'll find it. Go ahead though. Keep going.
And so, you got like Demon Slayer. Well, I don't know if One Punch Man is currently on there, but that's a huge one. Dragon Ball Z is always one that people at least recognize, even non-manga fans, is like, oh, hey, or anime, Dragon Ball Z. The other big one, I saw something called Chainsaw Man. So My Hero Academia, that's hugely popular, and that's basically superheroes, manga's version of superheroes. So, um, they get it though. I mean, they get it. They are producing books that the fans love for the fans, that they know what sells. They don't shy away from violence. They don't shy away from making the ladies look like ladies, because that's the other thing Marvel and DC are doing right now.
I just I I don't know if I could ever get into manga. I mean, I've heard of Dragon Ball Z and I've heard of all that. That zero interest for me. I mean, I know that sounds horrible, but I'm just not there.
Well, the other thing is they're black and white. You read them backwards, which is kind of cool. But you're right. I've tried to kind of get into them, and I just can't. The only one I've actually semi interested in, my son hasn't read the manga, but he's watched the anime TV series on Netflix, One Punch Man.
Mm.
And I'm actually kind of liking that one. That one is actually worth maybe checking out if you like superheroes. Um, but point is, you're right. I just don't have a lot of interest in it, but that is attracting younger readers.
I really wish we could track this because it's not going to be good for you compared to good for me. But I wish we could track the old stuff because I feel now the old trades are going to get way more popular than what they have ever been because
Well,
it's less and
that's
less.
happening.
Yeah. And there's no way really to track that. I think it's
Mm-mm.
just going to happen to where instead of me looking for something new, I'm going to look at a new character that I never really dove into that now I want to because guess what? There's nothing new that I want to read anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I've even found it myself. Like, I mean, it's hard for me to stop getting new trades, but I'm getting very uninterested in what's out there. And I've found myself wanting to go back and look through some trades, or uh, finding older characters that they don't use that do have some trades out there and read them, because you hit the nail on the head right now. Back issue sales are going through the roof. Some of these comic shops are surviving on the sales of their back issues.
Yeah.
And even a couple of years ago, Dan DiDio, the editor in chief of DC, I mean, he's gone now, had said that was an issue for DC, is that their old trades of Batman or Superman or whoever were outselling the new stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's a massive problem because your new stuff is shit.
Yeah.
I mean, pardon my French.
I
It's
mean,
not good.
it is what it is on that. It's not pardon my French. It's just bad.
It's just bad, man.
Um, I don't know. That's why it interests me. Like when I was asking you about what Fantastic Four. I mean, I know all the characters, but I've never really dove
Sure.
into their trade to really read.
Yeah.
And Jersey and I were actually watching the Fantastic Four with Jessica Alba and all that, and
Yeah.
it just brought. I was like, hey, I'm gonna look into reading some of this stuff, and I
Yeah.
don't care what anybody says. Chris Evans, he was just as good of a Human Torch as he is Captain America.
I'm telling you, he nailed Johnny Storm and Cap. I mean, so it's like if he had never become Cap and Fantastic Four, those movies really took off, and he had always been Johnny Storm. It's like, well, that's a perfect Johnny Storm.
And he would have been huge.
He'd been huge.
And in
Yeah.
fact, I personally feel that the two Fantastic Fours of that one were underrated, and they actually were better than what people gave them
I
credit for.
enjoy those, and I'm gonna savor those. I think the only thing they got wrong was Doom and
Doom was
Galactus.
horrible.
You know, Doom and Galactus were trash. Silver Surfer was amazing in it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. I think the core team was phenomenal. I loved all four of them, and I'm gonna really hold on to that because that'll be the only version we ever get going forward that is classic Fantastic Four. There's no way in hell the MCU will cast an all white cast as the Fantastic Four. It's not gonna happen. Won't happen. I mean, I'm gonna argue that they do need to be white. I'm sorry, they do. You start messing around with multicolor this and that, and it just then you have to explain this. Well, this one's adopted, or this is that. This, and I know some people are gonna, oh my gosh, this is terrible. How could you say that? Well, I'm sorry. You know, I might even be willing to accept it if we ever got a MCU Fantastic Four, the traditional Fantastic Four already. You know,
Yeah.
but we haven't. Not in the MCU.
And I didn't know Kevin Feige was involved in the first Fantastic Four until I was watching it again. I mean, I didn't really pay
Yeah,
attention. I
yeah.
was like, that son of a bitch was part of this way back
I
then.
know. Yeah, he was producing stuff. I think he was even on the first Spider-Man
Mm.
as a, lower tier producer, but yeah.
Sam says he hates
So,
how likable Chris Evans is, by the way.
oh yeah, I know. The guy's amazing, really. Everything he's in, I just love.
I know. I agree.
If you haven't seen Defending Jacob on Apple Plus, do it now. It's an amazing show.
I
It's
have
not
to do that.
superhero at all, but it's so freaking good.
All right, so we got off. We got off thing. So we got a couple photos up here. First one, the guy, and again, I know nothing about it. The first one I have up is the guy looks like he's sort of in a Captain America type of
Oh,
costume.
that's probably My Hero Academia. Again, these are just photos, pictures, images of hugely popular manga anime stuff.
And
I
why
mean,
why do you feel this one is getting so much traffic?
I don't know. I mean I'm not. I know more about manga than you, but I haven't read it enough to get why it's so appealing.
Because none
You
of
know,
this looks like graphical, like, oh my gosh, this is great art.
yeah,
I want to really get into it or anything like that.
yeah. It's always got kind of a cartoony style. It's very fluid though. It's very actiony. It's when they do fights like on One Punch Man, it's pretty compelling. Those are interesting, but it's the other stuff that's just weird.
I got One Punch
Again,
Man up now.
where it could be a generational thing. I've never really got into it either. And so the question is like, what are they doing that's so right that's appealing to their fan base? And I think it's because they're giving them what they want. They're giving them action. They're giving them girls that are maybe kind of sexy. They're they don't shy away from whatever their fans want. They're feeding their wants. And really, the comic world, DC, Marvel, traditional Western comics hate their audience. They don't like you and me. They don't like the old time collectors.
They
They
don't like
hate
us
us.
at all, actually.
No, they're like, you suck. I don't want you to read these comics. There's Kelly Sue DeConnick. It's Ethan Van Sciver uses it all the time. This little song and video clip of her saying, "You don't like my politics? Don't read my book."
I've seen that. That's so bullshit.
It is. It's like, you moron.
Yeah. Sam just says that My Hero Academia is successful because it blends Western storytelling and Eastern style.
And he's probably right. Yeah, it's the superhero angle with the Eastern style. So yeah, and that's probably true of One Punch Man as well.
I just thought
So
this is mainly like Japan stuff, right?
yeah,
So do they not have the big strict regulations as like China does?
no, Japan's a different animal as far as that stuff goes. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So they
Wow.
can they can do whatever they want. And let's go to the sexualization that the creators at the wonderful Big Two are pushing back against. I mean, I can see you go back to those 90s and Wonder Woman's practically in a thong most of the time fighting, and that's how they drew all the women, and they were super sexualized with barely any clothing on and fighting, you know, super villains. Okay, maybe we could tone that down a little bit, but then we get the greatness of freaking Red Hulk, or what do they call it today?
Winter Hulk, and
Winter
that's up
Hulk.
right now. Holy crap! This picture.
It's like, are you serious right now? This is the pig swine that swill whatever that
This
you're
is
feeding
really
us.
supposed to excite people to want to read this comic.
Yeah, who the hell is this for?
It almost sounds like Game of Thrones. Winter is coming.
Uh, well, I mean, I don't know if everyone knows this too, but they've over the last couple of years they've drawn She-Hulk as basically a dude, or an she used to be incredibly beautiful, and she was a really great character, and now she's Man Hulk or whatever the hell it is.
I totally am with you on a couple things of what you just said. I think we went too far. There's always the pendulum, I always say. I think we
Yeah,
went too far to one side. Now I think we are gigantically too far to the other. Like,
right.
this is going to go off the subject, but Title IX is a huge thing, and it's for what women fought for so long, to have equal rights. And
Sure.
now what's going on to allow, I might get killed, but to allow transgenders to now compete in
Yeah.
women's sports. I don't understand what is going on. Why is it also so bad for She-Hulk to look beautiful, not overdone, done
Right.
correctly, but still a beautiful character instead of a butch, and that's what we want. I don't get it. I don't
And
get the thought process.
nobody wants it either. You have a vocal minority of bitching on Twitter, and they think that's most of the fan base, and it's not. It's ridiculous. It's not true at all. But that's what they think, And then the people that get in the creative positions,
Yeah.
it's like, hey, ooh, I get to do my agenda now.
I
I
just
don't
don't
get to. I'm not gonna write Jennifer Walters She-Hulk as She-Hulk. I'm gonna write her as me.
I just don't understand the thought process of who thinks this is the way we wanted it to go, when now in Germany you have a dude that is transgender, that is going to go to the Olympics for female weight, or
Yeah, weightlifting,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
This
How is
is
that?
really what we want to happen.
And how does that? How do you wrap your mind like, oh yeah, that's fair. She wasn't growing up with through puberty and testosterone and building muscle and mass, and I don't know whatever point they transgendered over, but you still have all that, and all biologically, you're gonna be stronger than the strongest female. And you think that, oh yeah, that makes total sense.
It
Yeah,
really
let's do
helps
that.
them with Title IX to come how far they've came. And I
Yep.
mean, I applaud the women for what they did with Title IX, but this is not. They need to
Mm-hmm.
be fighting just as hard for their rights on this now. Just like
I
the
agree.
guy in California in a junior college, he was on a junior college basketball team. He was like 42, decided to play basketball, and he's 6'9", and he was scoring like 45 to 50 points a game.
I saw that. Yeah. I mean, well, there you go.
That's really what we want. That's so
Mhm.
this She-Hulk
We're we're
being
living in madness. It's sheer madness.
it
It
doesn't
makes no
make any
sense.
sense. All right, so Sam says we're getting off topic. We got to get back on track.
Yeah, I know.
All right. But it goes right back to what we're just seeing with this new Winter Hawk.
Yeah, I mean that just epitomizes like, okay, not only is this who the hell is this for, but it's even like it's creative bankruptcy because all they're flipping doing is rehashing old storylines. Uh, I don't know. I guess we'll do World War She-Hulk,
Yeah.
or now we're gonna do a Saga again, but with Miles. Now we're gonna do the latest X-Men thing is Inferno, which you already did 25 years ago. I mean, you guys have no flipping
That's
creativity.
why you're all
You
getting fired.
That's why you are, yeah. Well, I mean, actually, no, it's all the crap. All the people that were at least had some talent are gone, and now you
Yeah.
have garbage running it, and they don't know anything. And so I'm telling you what, I don't know what's past the top 20, but if there is a Marvel or DC, in the top 40, well, that's going to be gone too pretty soon.
That's sad. That's sad.
Yeah, I
I just
mean, at
don't have
this
time to
point,
read manga.
no, at this point, if they were to stop publishing Marvel and DC comics, I almost don't think I'd shed a tear. It's like I've got hundreds of thousands of comics, of the old stuff, and I can go back and read that.
Though, if we were thinking business wise, we should probably really get into manga and be doing a podcast on it.
I know.
I mean, that is
Oh,
what's
I'm sure.
trending, and we're sitting here going backwards and trying to fight the good fight. And we're gonna be basically talking about a 1970 comic book because that's what's just what we're liking right now.
Well, I mean, it's all about the characters. What's ironic right now, too, is that these characters that we love are really, incredibly popular. And we might be complaining about some changes that they're recently making, but, superheroes are still immensely popular.
Yeah,
And it's so ironic that, okay, yeah, what they originate from is completely in the dumpster. And they're gonna kill the medium they came from, and they're gonna exist solely in TV and movies probably pretty soon.
and I mean, bad thing is something about reality. I can almost see that happening. I mean,
Yeah.
it is what it is because we talk about this with our TikTok videos all the time that we are learning that people have about a 15 or 20-second span where they can
Oh
pay
yeah.
enough attention and that's
Yep.
what they pay attention to. So imagine somebody wanting to read a whole run of Spider-Man right now. They're not going to do it anymore.
It's like, yeah, and what appeals to you and I, the old stuff, is like, oof, you get, like my son, oh yeah, this is just static pictures on a page. I'd rather just watch the movie,
Yeah.
or play the video game more likely.
And always one of the biggest arguments of when we do post something like on a TikTok video is that's not what happened in this movie. And you're like,
Right.
you've never known because that's the only version
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
getting.
right. It's like, yeah, you might want to go back and read the last 50 years of Black Panther.
Okay, so before we move on, Sam says Marvel and DC is literally throwing everything they can at it when the answer is right in front of their faces. Stop catering, start writing. No writer wants to be told what to do, and they write about what they know.
Yeah, it's just I mean, there's no love of the characters. You know, I love Jeff Johns, and I know he's had some issues on the movie side of things, but the guy loves DC characters. It's probably what gets him in trouble is that he loves them too much and isn't willing to compromise.
Hmm.
But that's good. Um, and so anyone writing, again, they don't write the characters. They don't go in and say, "I want to write a really great Tony Stark Iron Man comic, and I want to dig into what makes Tony Stark work." No, I'm gonna write him how I am or how I see things, and so he becomes a totally different character. Same thing with Carol Danvers and Captain Marvel. I mean, it's unreadable garbage. They've written her as a villain. She's practically a fascist in Civil War II, which I can't recommend. Don't read it. It's trash. Um, and so I don't know how you redeem that character after this point. She and Tony Stark is the same way. They keep writing them as villains almost. They don't understand the characters and they don't care because all they care about is their agenda.
Wow, that's sad.
Anyway, it's it's a bad deal. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what 2022 brings. You know, will the sales pick up
Well, the pendulum is
for
going
what?
to have to shift at some point, and the only time it can shift is the only problem is on this time it could be totally dead when it
Yeah,
finally does shift, and it won't matter. So
yeah,
if it does shift, they're only going to have, like you've always said, Batman and Superman comics, and that's going to be about it. X-Men, that kind of stuff, and then it's going
yeah,
to shift, and that's all they're going to be able to focus on, and it's going to be that's again your private labels. Your one Indiegogo guys, if they can do something right, they're gonna be the winners.
yeah. They are. You know, they can sell. You know, 100,000 books, which is well, no. Let's even go lower. Let's 50,000 books, and that's considered pretty darn low. I think, well, I think 27 maybe or 30,000 is like the cancellation cutoff it used to be. If those guys can sell those numbers on their own, they're going to be making huge bank.
There's
Uh,
only two things that are gonna kill the Indiegogo guys. One is their pride, because they can't admit that if you're an artist that you're not a great writer, or if you're a
yeah.
great writer you're not a good artist. So they can't ever just decide, I want to team up with this one guy and we're going to be creative and really push them. And what holds them back is they can only write what, 3 maybe 4 a year.
Oh, no. Yeah, you have two if they're lucky.
So, and that's another thing that's going to hold them back. I mean, and they
Yeah.
don't really care about, they want to push. They know that if they can write 2 books, make money, more money than what they ever did on doing how many they did at DC or Marvel,
Oh,
they don't really care.
3 times as much. They don't care. Yeah. And it's like, well, this is a pretty great career. I've got my character, my IP. I'll control it. It may not win any awards, but I'm making more money than it ever
Yeah.
made at Marvel or DC, and this is mine. I own it. It's at this point, it's like Ethan Van Sciver says, why the hell would you ever want to work for Marvel or DC? Go do it on your own. I'm like,
But
well,
man, if they, and I love Ethan Van Sciver, and I think he is sort of at a whole different level. And I
he's
know
at a
there's
whole
some other
different level.
guys, but there's some other guys that desperately need to team up with someone to be able to be
Yeah,
successful, and their
yeah,
pride won't do it.
yeah, and it's their pride, and probably too is like, hey, I've been screwed over by
Yeah.
Marvel and DC before. I don't want to. I'm just going to do this on my own. Well, not everyone is an Ethan Van Sciver. I mean, his talent is phenomenal. Uh, and yeah, I mean, I'm not going to talk about his writing ability, but art wise, he's one of the best.
He can get away with his writing ability just because of how good his art is.
Yeah, it's like Todd McFarlane. I mean, Todd McFarlane is not a writer. I mean, go back and read some of it, read the books, but his art is so good that you didn't care.
Yeah. All right.
So, well, we'll see what happens. You know, no creativity going on right now. And the last thing I'll just say real quick though is, and I know you're a Batman guy, but this is what happens. Go to DC's most recent solicitations, and it's just Batman, Batman, different Batman, new Batman, all the Batman characters, Batman, two Superman books, Wonder Woman, Justice League, a Flash, and Green Lantern without Hal Jordan. So, I mean, that's
And I don't want that either. I mean, it's
yeah,
it's not, because some of the stuff is
it's
not worth reading right now either.
no, it's not a healthy business model. Yeah, that's great. Batman does sell, but I mean, you have thousands and thousands of characters you could try to develop and do something exciting with, and it's not going to happen.
That's too much
So,
work.
yeah. So it's a bit sad for the comic, Western comics, and just be careful. I'm not a huge manga fan. I don't hate it. It just really doesn't interest me. But it's not looking good. They're gonna be the dominant form, and then go to Barnes and Noble too, and go to the graphic novel section of DC Marvel, and then go look at the manga section. Quite a difference.
Wow. Sad, sad, sad. Well, let's get some
Yep.
happiness going.
Happy. I like happy.
You want to go ahead and jump into Snake Eyes?
Let's do Snake Eyes, man.
I'm looking
Let's
forward to
do it.
this just because you and I both talk about this a lot. We
Hmm.
grew up on G.I. Joe. We grew up on He-Man. We grew
Oh,
up on... That was all I played with. I still remember to this day how much I played with G.I. Joe. And it was awesome.
oh, vivid memories of waiting for my Duke action figure in the mail, and
Sergeant Slaughter,
William the
because
Rip
like...
Sergeant Slaughter, man.
Yep.
Oh gosh, yeah, that one hurt when I sold him. That hurt.
Oh. So do you
So
want
yeah,
me to
Snake
pull
Eyes,
up
man.
the pictures, or do you want me to go straight to the trailer?
Yeah, let's just go to the trailer. We can go through it a bit.
All right. The first thing I want to talk about, and it's going to be a negative thing, but why do you
Yeah.
feel that they have decided to go a different route of, I don't have any other way to say this, but his nationality?
Yeah.
It doesn't really, it doesn't bother me as bad as I thought it would, but it, because I don't know how many people are going to understand that he is a different nationality.
Yeah, I guess at first I'm like, oh geez, okay. I equate Snake Eyes and Iron Fist a lot in the same because they're kind of the fish out of water. They're going into a ninja clan or a Kunlun, and they're American. They're not Asian. They shouldn't do well. They're an outsider. Blah 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 blah. And always thought that's an appealing story, but right now, politics as they are, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
At this point, though, I mean, this guy looks like he's got a lot of charisma. I haven't seen Crazy Rich Asians, but I like the guy. It looks great. And I think here's the deal. I think if he's Asian, fine. I'm hoping he's playing an Asian
Yeah.
American.
Yes.
If he's American, then I'll be like, okay, that probably is really the most important aspect of it.
Because that was the whole point of Snake Eyes.
Yeah, I mean, he is a member of GI Joe, an American in the I always forget how to pronounce it, Arishikaji clan. Um, and so I think they will keep that part. And I mean, he's not speaking with an Asian accent in the trailer, so I'm assuming he's an American. And then he befriends Storm Shadow and gets part of the clan, and go from there. I am going to be interested if they even go the route though of, will he get scarred? Will he lose his voice, or will he take a vow of silence? Like, how will they go about that? Because I think they will have to not have him speak. At the end of the movie,
So
like
you
by the
think that
time.
Do you
Go
think
ahead.
they worry if they do that, that it's going to be really, really hard to make a second one if this is very
I,
successful?
I do understand that fear. I mean, that is pretty darn challenging. It's
I
like,
mean,
okay,
Grant, I think it's really challenging.
yeah. I mean, let's take the Mandalorian. I think it totally worked for us to never see his face. I thought that was freaking awesome.
But he still
But then
talked.
you, but he still talked.
And
I
I think
mean,
that's
yeah,
bigger. I think the talking part is bigger. He didn't
I
talk
do
a
too.
lot, but he
No, he
still
didn't.
talked.
He did. Yeah, I mean, what he said was profound usually,
Hmm.
and it made it cooler. But just being silent with a mask on, I don't know how you do a feature with him again. So I understand that dilemma, even though it does take away from who Snake Eyes is. But I'm excited for it. I mean, I think it visually looks pretty
I
awesome.
think it looks. Okay. I might get. I'm more excited for this than I am Shang-Chi.
Oh, yeah, oh yeah. And I love Shang-Chi, but I don't know, there's something about it that feels a little bit off while this feels like I mean, they've got Baroness and Scarlet, and she looks like Scarlet. Like, damn.
I just worry Shang-Chi is going to majorly flop.
I do too. I think without China, China seems to have already rejected it, and if it doesn't even open in China, I think it crashes and burns
If it
big
can't
time.
open there and that's what it's about, doesn't
I
make
I don't
sense.
I don't understand that at all. Yeah, I think behind the scenes, Marvel's
Shit in their
fairly
pants.
worried. I think they're fairly worried about Shang-Chi. And
Yeah.
frankly, Eternals too, because the buzz on it isn't good.
I didn't like it. I didn't
I know,
like the
yeah, yeah.
the
And
trailer.
I did like it, but the things I've heard, a few spoilers, aren't creating a great positive picture.
Really.
So, yeah,
There there's just some stunning pictures and video of Snake Eyes. I mean like the mountaintop and the
yeah,
it is stunning what they're
yeah.
doing. And visually watching this trailer compared to visually watching Shang-Chi, there is no question which, in my opinion, looks way better.
Yeah, I'd love to take two kind of kids, a couple 10-year-olds and say, hey, they don't know who Snake Eyes is. They don't know who Shang-Chi is. Like, okay. And they don't know Shang-Chi's in the Marvel universe, so there's no advantage there. Like, just watch these two trailers. Like, which one are you more interested in? I'd be hard pressed to see anyone picking Shang-Chi.
That's a great idea. That is a
Yeah, I
great
mean,
idea, but I don't know how to make it to where they don't know if it's Marvel or not.
yeah, that would be the hard thing to do. But if you could, like, well, I mean, if you just made no mention or somehow was able to cut out the Marvel thing at the front, I mean, no one knows who Shang-Chi is. You're like, hey, this is a new movie. What do you think of this?
Mm,
And I think Snake Eyes wins that one every time.
I agree.
So,
I do agree with that. I think that's a good idea, man.
yeah, we'll get a focus group going.
Yeah. All right. So, what are the major things we've already talked about? What you're a little worried about with Snake Eyes, but what are the major things that you're really excited about?
Really excited. I mean, I just love his look. I just think he's still one of the coolest looking characters ever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's got to be up there.
I think
I mean, that's
Storm
why I felt.
Shadow's pretty close though too.
Oh no, Storm Shadow's great too. But I mean, that's just how I fell in love with. I mean, GI Joe number 21, man. It was like Snake Eyes, so cool. It's kind of the Boba Fett thing for
Yeah.
me. You have
Yeah.
the fully covered face, the armor, and then Snake Eyes' look, ninja. I was all about ninjas as a kid. Okay, so I love the look. I'm really excited. It looks like they're building some cool things. We've already seen the Cobra logo in it. The Baroness looks spot on, and I'm super excited what they were doing with Scarlet. Her look looks phenomenal compared to Rise of Cobra movie, which I thought the actress who played her was decent, but this one looks really good.
Do you hope? that this can build, like the other GI Joe movies were okay. I mean,
That's
they
exactly
weren't
right. They
they
were
weren't
okay.
like fantastic or anything. They were just okay.
Yeah,
Do
yeah, I
you
agree.
hope this is going to build a way better series for GI
That
Joe?
is, yeah. I mean, that's what they've said. This is step one, and they're gonna do more GI Joe stuff with it. And yeah, I think from this, it looks like maybe they're gonna get it right. I hope. It looks like a really solid foundation based on the trailers.
That'd be awesome. Now, what do you
Yeah,
predict though if this goes well? Let's say it goes well.
yeah.
What is the next one that they try to do?
Well, they've said they're working on another GI Joe proper film, and they've got a script in development. So I think it's probably ready to go, and based on how Snake Eyes performs.
So my question to you is, what I fear is that they're not going to go for the slow burn like Marvel did. They're going
Yeah,
to be like, this was successful. Let's jump right on, make a whole nother G.I. Joe show. In my
yeah,
opinion, I think they should make a couple more single person show with
yeah,
like Scarlet jumping in or a new character jumping in here and there.
yeah.
Because I think that would go
I
over
agree.
better as the whole part.
I like that idea a lot. The only thing I would say is I'm not sure who on the GI Joe team is anywhere near popular enough to do their own movie aside from Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. I mean, those guys are just. I mean, maybe you could do something with Destro.
That's what I was gonna say. Why
I
not
freaking love.
Destro?
I mean, if there was one character they totally didn't get right, it was Destro. Golly, that was at least they redeemed Cobra Commander in the second GI Joe movie. But um, yeah, I would love to see a proper Destro. I think if you did something with like a combined little origin story with like a Duke and I always loved Stalker, Roadblock,
Mm-hmm.
Gung Ho, Shipwreck. Maybe make a little origin of those guys kind of coming together as a
As a
foundation, and
team,
then
yeah.
as a team, and then do another big. Hey, then Snake Eyes comes in and Scarlet, and then maybe by the third movie, you're like, okay, now we're GI Joe and we're doing something.
I
But
I like that.
I know the idea though for Paramount is and Hasbro is to have them go against Transformers. So I mean, I know that's in the planning stages, and I know Mask is also part of this plan. They actually have a director, F. Gary Gray, but I don't. I think it's kind of stuck. I don't know if. Do you remember Mask?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so they've got those Hasbro properties that they're trying to build a universe with. We'll see what happens. I'm excited, and I'm super pumped. I'll be there opening night for Snake Eyes, no
I
doubt.
just think it is hard. It's really, really hard, and this is what DC fails on all the time is go slow. Because I think it could be
Yeah.
massive. I think G.I. Joe as a whole thing, if done correctly, could be just as massive as Marvel.
Oh, I think so. I mean, I think He-Man. I don't understand how they can't get He-Man going, but He-Man has got a resurgence right now. I'd love to do a whole episode on He-Man. He-Man feels like there's a lot of momentum coming for that, and I think GI Joe is the same. You have those two toy lines and Transformers, but they've already had all their success. Those two toy lines, you're right. They're ripe for so much cool stuff they can do.
Yep, I agree. Well, Sam says that he agrees that G.I. Joe needs to go slow.
I like the idea. Maybe Destro and it's a movie kind of centered on Destro and coming together with Cobra Commander and the kind of the
But
origins of Cobra.
I would put Cobra Commander at the end. Like, make it all about
Yeah,
Destro
yeah. And you
and
could
do him
throw in
right.
we never have seen Major Blood, who I love that villain. Throw in Major Blood, Destro, maybe one other cool character from Cobra's early years. I don't know, somebody.
I think that
Scrap
sounds
Iron,
awesome.
Firefly. I don't know. So
And I like
that
that.
would be cool.
I like doing Snake Eyes, then Destro, and then doing the team, like you were saying, coming together, and
Yeah,
then the next one being a big. Okay, now we got to take on all these
yeah.
guys.
I mean, then we're getting into the way into the future, but damn, well, how cool would it be to finally bring in Serpentor? He's the DNA of all these warriors, and they, make him basically. I always thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I love it.
So yeah, I'm excited. This trailer looked really good. So like I said, I'll probably be there opening night for this one. And I'm kind of glad it's not on any streaming service. It's going to be theaters only. So
And when is opening night again?
I think it's July 23rd.
Okay,
I'm
so a
pretty
month.
sure. Yeah, yeah.
That's
So
exciting.
yep.
He-Man was Sam's poison as a kid. I mean, I think a lot of us are right there.
I can't, Sam. I can't really decide which was more addictive for me. I can't decide whether it was He-Man or GI Joe. So neck and neck.
I'm gonna have to say it was honestly probably GI Joe for me.
Yeah. Yeah, probably towards the end of my toy collecting, and then before, I I can remember being at school. I think it was, I don't know what grade it was, and friend of ours, I won't name, but we loved GI Joe together, and we just got a couple of the newest ones. It may have been like fifth grade or something, where it was like, yeah, it's time, fifth or sixth grade. We are like, and one of the girls was like, "What are you guys doing with toys?" We're like, "Ah, damn, yeah."
It's starting.
Sorry. So I don't know. I think probably GI Joe was at the end for me, but He Man was something that I found myself continuing to collect later on in college. I was gravitating more back to He Man stuff.
Okay.
So yeah,
I think
it's
the
neck and
action
neck.
figures look cooler with He-Man.
Yeah,
I just think I had way more of the GI Joe stuff.
I probably did early in those days, and I was so into ninjas. Like I was taking karate, and I was all about the ninja stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, it would be hard for me to pick. I'd say probably right now at my age, right now I'm probably leaning He-Man though.
All right. Let's go to.
Sam, we'll have to do a whole podcast on He-Man.
That'd be fun. And man, I could
Yeah.
get Kenzie's brother Aaron is in love with He-Man. Like he knows everything.
Oh, I'd love to do a He-Man podcast. I'd talk hours about He-Man.
Maybe we can try to figure that out.
And last plug on He-Man, a little off the subject, but I think I've mentioned this before. We love wrestling, masters of the WWE universe. Those toys are so cool. Go check them out. They're hard to find though because they're so in demand. I'm still holding out. They do one on Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels. It's like, come on, they've got all the other ones that are really cool. So,
That would be cool.
yep.
All right, so second, the Suicide Squad trailer.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
hit what
yeah.
last week? A week ago, roughly, less than that.
No, it was this week. It
Okay,
was this week. Yeah,
I
yeah. Because
actually
Snake
loved
Eyes
it.
and this one hit. Oh, I loved it
I
too.
like this one better than the first one.
Same. I thought
Like
this one hit it out of the park.
a little more meat for me on this one, not just
Yeah,
funny.
yeah. I mean, you can tell there's going to be some serious stuff in here.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be very Guardians the same. James Gunn does do a good job of balancing um, the humor and then a serious kind of heartfelt tone. So, yeah. I mean, I love all these quirky characters. So I think Bloodsport looks amazing, and I loved, if we can go ahead and talk about that line.
yeah,
Mentioning that he put Superman in the ICU with a kryptonite bullet,
yeah.
and he did that. That is straight from the comics. I
That's
thought that was
awesome.
so cool.
See,
Yeah,
that's the kind of stuff we need to like get behind and be like, keep
yeah.
doing that kind of stuff. That's awesome.
Well, and then again, it's like idiots on Twitter start bitching because they couldn't do that to Superman, and that. What are they talking about? What even what? Well, guys, go read a freaking comic because it happened. It's straight out of the comic.
By the way, we just talked about Superman, and I'm gonna say, and always forget the guy's name, but the guy that does Superman and Lois,
Tyler Hecklin.
he is like moving up as fast as any Superman has ever moved up for me, and
I know
he's
this is
getting
this.
close to three.
I
He is
man.
three for sure.
Oh yeah. I know we're talking about Suicide Squad trailer, but
My
we'll
bad.
segue for just a second. Holy crap! I mean, it almost brings tears to my eyes how good Superman and Lois is. Of like, we still have, we still have the Superman here on screen. It's like it's not some wacky version that someone wants to shove down our throats for whatever political reason. It's like, whatever happens with Henry Cavill, I don't know. We still don't know 100%, but damn it, we have some of the best Superman on screen I've seen in years, and it's fabulous.
And what I'm loving about it, and I don't want to go very far into it, why he's moving up so fast for me is because you truly see what Superman's actual real weakness is.
Yeah.
And it is all about being a human. He
Oh
loves
yeah.
his family so much, and he would
Right.
do anything for him, put himself in, major
Yeah.
danger just for his
Right.
family and whoever
Yeah.
else. And they're
I,
getting that right, like perfectly right.
I don't know how this show exists. I don't know how they're letting them write this show. I don't know how. I mean, there'll probably be an agenda sometime, but how do they let them write a patriarchy led family by a man and a woman married with two kids, and they all love each other, and they're trying to they have struggles, but they're doing the best they can. I'm just dumbfounded that this exists, but I love it, and it's with my favorite character ever, and I think I'm just pretty excited.
And if things don't work out like soon with Cavill, he's over Cavill for me.
I would totally be like, hey, yeah, no, I don't want to see if Cavill doesn't work out, then you guys are idiots if you don't get this guy
And
uh on the big screen.
and it's also the right. I mean, it's the writing's the big part of it. It's
Yeah,
allowing him, but he's doing really well.
oh yeah, he is. I mean, the performers are all doing really solid. I'm excited. I'm excited to see John Henry Irons back as Steel.
It was awesome.
Uh, yeah, it's just like, damn, this. I was, I mean, I just can't believe it. I almost did a TikTok like, I can't believe how freaking great this show is. I just can't.
I love it. Sorry,
Yep.
that was my bad.
Yeah, we
That was my
we
bad, Sam. I could talk to this one for an hour, just because it's so good.
yeah, we probably need to talk Superman and Lois next week. I'm not sure if there's a new one. I'm not sure. I think there might only be like 5 episodes left for the season. I
Okay.
think.
All right, let's get back to the Suicide Squad. I love the part where Amanda Waller, he's holding the pen to her throat, and she's telling everybody to calm down because she knows she has him.
Oh
And
yeah,
she is so calm and cool and the badass that she is. I think they did that very well.
yeah, it was really good. Yeah, that was great. Um, what else? I don't think you're a super fan of this, but
Oh,
I
if you're going to
kind
say
of
what you're about to say, I know what you're about to say.
Peacemaker's line.
Yes, in the room.
Yeah, I'm kind of loving that. I think that, and it's really kind of his character too. It's not that far off base from how he is in the comics. Um, he is kind of just like, oh my gosh, what is wrong with this guy? Um, so it's a little more over the top than how he is in the books, but not by much. So I think that's what we're gonna have in store for us for the TV show. I think it's gonna be a ultra violent,
Mm-hmm.
heavy on comedy, but not slapstick comedy, just like shock
Yeah.
comedy. You know.
We have an important question from Unfinished Business. Sorry for the late join, but did Ref finally get kicked off here? Him falling asleep all the time was too much.
He's on sabbatical.
I actually don't know where he is. He was supposed to be
Yeah,
here.
no, we don't know where he is. He's on sabbatical.
Um, talk about a little bit about the villain in this Starfish. I do like by the way, when they were on the plane, I loved
Yeah.
it where he was like, I'm sitting next to a werewolf.
Well, yeah, that was great too.
No, no, he's not a
No, no,
werewolf.
no. He's a weasel. He's harmless. Well, he's killed 27 children, but he's harmless.
That was so
God.
funny.
Yeah, Starro. I mean, yeah, Justice League's very first villain. So a giant starfish.
Oh, Polka
You
Dot
know.
Man did more this time too, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He looks like he's gonna surprise people. I think I'm a little bummed because I wanted to see more Captain Boomerang, and I really think he's gonna get wiped out early.
You do.
I do.
Because
I
we're
don't
not
see a
seeing
lot of
him. We're not seeing him late, is what you're
no.
saying.
I don't see a lot of footage with him. I think all those characters that are walking together, like well, probably in the plane with Arm Fall Off Boy or whatever he is, and Weasel and Javelin and the guy from Saturday Night Live. I think all of those guys bite it pretty early. I think that's like the first mission for whatever's going on, and they bite it. I'm kind of confident in that.
Wow.
And then I think they bring back some Captain Boomerang and some of the others, and I think old Cap he bites it midway through. So that's which
Who
is kind of a bummer. I've always liked him as a villain.
who is the dude that looks like Brainiac?
The Thinker. So he's an old JSA villain from the old days, and well, hey, yeah, you would know this. I think you were watching Flash. I mean, he was the big bad on season 5.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, that's him. Just another version of the Thinker.
Interesting.
Also played by a Doctor Who actor.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Who
this
gives a
all
shit
looks.
about Doctor Who?
Oh, don't say it, man. Don't say it until you watched
No, not gonna watch
David
it.
Tennant. Watch the David Tennant Doctor Who.
I'm gonna say if anybody needs to watch anything, if you're not watching Superman and Lois, that's the first thing you need to watch. The second
Holy
thing you need to
crap.
watch is Titans.
Yeah, I mean, you will find haters on that show, though.
I don't care.
But
It's so good.
yeah, I think, man, I think that one appeals to people that are kind of know the characters, but aren't like mega fans of them. Um, and I think those individuals are really liking it. And I think some old, really hardcore Titan fans are not. Um, but I have really high hopes about this season. This season looks pretty, and I haven't hated the other ones, so I'm
I've liked them.
excited. Yeah,
The only thing, if I'm gonna say anything bad about the Titans, especially season 2, it
yeah,
took way too long to get through every character. Like they would talk about every
yeah.
character for an episode. It just took too long.
They have pacing issues. Is my thing. Yeah.
Sam says Titans is horrible. Whatever, Sam. I think it's good.
I will say that I won't spoil it for anyone that hasn't seen it, but what happened to Donna Troy at the end of the season was ridiculous. Like, what? She's freaking Wonder Girl. What?
Yeah,
But
I don't
that
disagree with
was,
that.
I was like,
I
okay.
won't say nothing, but I don't
I
disagree.
will say I prefer Doom Patrol, though. If you're not watching Doom Patrol,
I haven't watched it, so I'll try it.
oh my gosh. Yeah.
I will say, I preferred probably, I think Gotham. If you haven't watched Gotham, I think you should watch it. Especially if
Gotham
you can get
is,
through the
yeah.
second and third season, I think you're good.
Yeah, I recommend Gotham too. It just go into it like, look, this isn't a traditional Batman story. The origins are going to be all out of order and place, but just watch the show because it's pretty damn good.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, Suicide Squad trailer. I think August is a nice month for DC stuff. We've got Suicide Squad, and then we've got Titans debuting. There's a rumor Doom Patrol season 3 is coming at the very end of August, and there's another. Oh, Stargirl. Stargirl starts as well in August. So some really good DC content coming up in August that, I think it all looks really
I
good.
tell you, DC has a chance here, a real chance here in the next 2+ years with the Suicide Squad, the Batman, Black Adam, the Flash, Aquaman, and Shazam coming out. I'm
I
telling you,
mean,
all of those could
there's
be
not one of
huge.
those that I'm not really looking forward to.
And we're talking about Marvels that are coming out as Eternal, Shang-Chi. There's some iffy ones on their side.
And hey, alert, there's some mixed reviews out there on Black Widow.
Ooh,
I'm hearing some mixed stuff.
damn it.
So, yeah, who knows what it'll actually be like, but you're right. So, what comes after Eternals? Oh, Spider-Man, which that should be pretty huge. The
Oh, that's
next
going to be
year,
big.
yeah, I think 2022, I think is going to be pretty awesome for Marvel as well, with Doctor Strange and Thor and Black Panther. But yeah, right now I think they're looking a little dicey. I think DC is looking real strong.
I mean, like you're saying, they have. If you want to skip Shang-Chi and Eternals, they have Spider-Man, Thor, Doctor Strange, Black Panther, and Captain Marvel too.
Yeah, that those are some heavy hitters. I mean, there is a question mark about Black Panther and how that's actually gonna get pulled off. But
Nobody's going to watch Captain Marvel too.
I'll watch it just for
Just for
Monica.
just for work.
Yeah,
Just for
I
this job right here.
I do love Monica Rambeau from WandaVision though. So if they bring in her, and if they somehow can throw in Blue Marvel, I'll be all over that. But yeah, there's also rumors that the Ms. Marvel show, that Marvel's not too hep on that young lady's performance. So we'll see if that turns out to be true.
Shocker.
Yeah, shocker. Oh
Because
gosh,
the comic was so good. Flying off the
Yeah,
shelves.
yeah. To be fair, the first series of Miss Marvel was actually not bad, and then it just devolved into crap. I mean, she's a B character, and because of the agenda, they keep trying to push her out, push her out, push her out. It's like, look, this character has some fans. Not gonna, and she's not terrible,
Yeah.
but she's not Captain America and Thor and Spider-Man level popular. She's just not. So stop it.
Right.
But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what you think. As The Rock would
But
say,
yeah,
Black Adam.
I mean, but hey, guys, I think DC is, man, that lineup is fire. I think it's. I mean, my personal one that I'm looking the most forward to, unless there was a Henry Cavill Superman movie, is Black Adam. That one I am so excited for because it has Hawkman and Doctor Fate in there. Oof, I cannot wait for that one. But you know, what's the one you're looking forward to the most?
The one I'm looking forward to the most, and it's going to shock you a little bit because I'm a Batman fan, but is honestly Shazam. Because I
Yeah,
really enjoyed the first one.
yeah, I know
I'm
you love
hoping
that
they
one.
get, level up a little bit more serious. And
Yeah.
then, but the one that without a doubt they need to do well is The Flash. The Flash has to be amazing.
I'm so excited for that. But yeah, that one is a bit of a question mark, isn't it? Yeah, it
Hmm.
it could end up being a big turd if they're not careful.
Suicide Squad, in my opinion, can be a turd. The others, almost
True.
none of the others can be.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. If any of those are, it's like, I don't know. We don't want another Wonder Woman 84.
Ugh.
Ugh. I mean that was rough. I mean, almost to the level of cratering Wonder Woman 3. Oh, and we're still gonna get Wonder Woman 3, but I'm not sure Patty Jenkins returns. We'll see.
So Sam says, can't wait to see The Rock in Fast and Furious to jam. It's going to be bad. Black Adam is going to belly flop. I disagree. I think The Rock
Oh
itself
no, I
gets
don't.
500 million just on his name.
Yeah, man. I mean, you never know. I mean, some things can just not hit. You know, if the critics come out and slam it, and not a ton of people know Black Adam, and the movie just isn't good, well then yeah. But man, with The Rock, who he is, and I think if it's even half good, and China, I feel like that one is gonna do really well. But we'll see.
Everything
I
is going to
thought
be,
Aquaman was gonna. I thought Aquaman, the first one, was gonna tank, and then it makes 1 billion.
yeah.
So you know,
That has a chance to tank a little bit like Wonder Woman 84. This next one.
I I agree, and if I agree, and if I can segue to real quick to Marvel, I'm telling you right, I'm predicting right now, Thor: Love and Thunder will be the Batman and Robin of the Marvel universe. I'm telling you, I believe it.
They're making
It's
it just that goofy.
I'm telling you, it's history's repeating itself. The same thing happened with Batman. Batman Forever came out totally different, like Thor Ragnarok from the previous one. They upped the action, they upped the comedy, and people loved it. Batman Forever was a huge hit,
Mm-hmm.
and it restored kind of interest in Batman after Batman Returns was a little weird and creepy for kids. And then they're like, "Well, that worked. Let's triple it." And Taika Waititi says, "Oh, whatever we're doing we did on Ragnarok, we're doubling it." I'm telling you, I think Thor: Love and Thunder is going to be a bridge too far, and people are going to like, okay, whatever you did on Ragnarok, it's going to be Batman and Robin. I'm telling you.
I also feel, I think we've already, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse is basically the DC's The Flash. It has to work because that's
You're
what's
right.
going to be what goes on from now on.
Yeah,
Black Panther Wakanda Forever is so up in the air of what they're going to do. I hate
yeah,
to say that I don't know. I mean, that's going to be an iffy one, and it could be
I agree.
amazing, and it could be.
I totally agree. And I still think I understand not recasting for that movie, but I think permanently killing off T'Challa is a massive, huge mistake and stupid.
And I think Captain
Uh,
Marvel too. If they don't bring in Blue Marvel, and if they don't make um, Spectrum one of the main characters in that movie, they're gonna flop because everybody's tired of Brie.
I gotta say, I mean, people, there are Brie lovers out there. She got this weird cultish thing. But
They
yeah,
don't
but let's be honest.
they don't
Let's be
come.
honest. People, she's not well liked as a character or as an actress. I'm here to tell you, and it's only gotten worse over the last years. The buzz on the first Captain Marvel is that it's one of Marvel's worst, and you're right. And if Ms. Marvel doesn't hit either, yeah, I think. And look, the fact that they call it the Marvels, I don't care what anyone says. They could have easily called it Captain Marvel and the Marvels, or I don't know, but they didn't. They totally took out the name Captain Marvel, and it's just the Marvels. That is a marketing decision. You
Yep,
don't just willy nilly do that.
yep. I
So
agree.
we'll see. There's a lot of question marks, but I think if they play their cards right, I think DC's got a really solid cinematic lineup.
If the
Really
Flash
solid.
is amazing and does
Yep,
well, DC's gonna take off.
I think so too. And I'm telling you, if you know, I just don't understand why they're. I understand if they want to do J.J. Abrams as an Elseworld Superman movie, I'm totally fine with that. But if they could get Henry Cavill back, I mean, there is a rumor that he's going to show up at Fandom. I'll believe it when I see it.
Hmm.
If that happens, the EC they'll be in overdrive for sure.
All
Yeah,
right.
so it'll be exciting.
That's all I got. I don't know if you have any
Yep,
more that you want to hit on.
I think we got it for the week, man.
All right. Maybe we can get Ref here next week, and
He's
we'll go from there.
MIA. He got captured by Cobra tonight. I don't know. We might have to send in a SWAT team after him.
We'll also look into maybe a special He-Man type of podcast, and it
Let's
might not
do
be on a
it.
Wednesday Well, we might have to figure out
No.
when he's going to be here or something like that, and we'll go from there and maybe make
Yeah, and
something
Sam,
cool.
if you're still with us, let's discuss He-Man because I'll do a tour of my basement here with all my He-Man swag.
Oh, that'd be so cool. That'd be cool.
I got a lot, and my wife ain't happy about it.
That's all good. Could be up at the bar right now, though.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, we are
All
going to